Hi, I am Sarah Wing of Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts, and welcome to Oracle Storytelling. Superpower Edition. Why superpower? Well, two main reasons. One, I'm feeling kind of rogue today. I was just like, I'm feeling rogue, like Marvel Rogue with my new deep red and with the fun pink in it still. It's in there. And with my little Hyperstein charm, feeling kind of Zari from Legends. But also, it's just a time right now, energetically, universally, where there's so much going on, and sometimes it feels like we need a superpower to take it on. So I thought this would be a good story to learn perhaps our origin story of how we find our superpower, our superpowers. There's just so much energetic shifting going on. Obviously there's Mercury in retrograde going on and a whole bunch of other stuff. A lot of unearthing of shadow stuff, or unearthing of really deep, almost feeling of lost communications. Everyone's getting a communication from somebody from like 30, they haven't seen in 30 years or 15 years, or they're finding something from a loved one or someone that's passed on as a form of communication. I've had all the obvious traditional stuff happen with Mercury in retrograde. I haven't had that unearthing yet, so I look forward to when perhaps that will happen for me. I don't get surprised much. I'm very detail oriented, so I don't get surprised that much. I'm very energetically sensitive, so I don't know, I think that'd be fun for this retrograde. But who knows? Who knows? So thank you so much, Samantha. I want to thank Sam, who has helped me tell this oracle story. I've asked for 4 numbers, 1 through 100, that will correlate to 4 page numbers in 4 books that I have selected, and 4 numbers, 1 through 10, which will correlate to the page, to the paragraph on that page. And I don't know, I'm excited. I think for anyone that needs to learn how to find their superpower, or where they're at, does it make sense? Are they close to finding their superpower? I hope we get some answers today. So, without further ado, Uranome and Ophion danced together on the sea. She changed herself into a dove and flew high above to swoop down on him. He surged from under the waves to rise up to her. He entered and entwined her. She enfolded him with her wings and engulfed him with her dark folds. Swooping and surging, entering, entwining, enfolding, engulfing. All right. Uranome, first dancer, played and coupled with Ophion until exhausted. Sounds exhausting. She floated on the sea and fell asleep. Uranome swelled large and ripe with the fruits of their bond. She awoke alone, spread her dove wings, and cried. Spasms churned through her, opening her flesh, thrusting the egg of the universe from her womb. Girl,
girl. It floated on the waves of the sea. Uranome, first mother, sang. Open, sweet egg, open. She ached to see what would hatch. She nudged the egg, pushed it, tapped it, kicked it, but the egg held firm.
Okay. So we're starting in a place of joy, ecstasy perhaps, waves crashing, engulfing things. And then some change happens. She seems to be alone with that change. Let's see what happens next to our heroine, or perhaps hero. Say our divine feminine. Rationalization. 7. That's parentheses, by the way. After the relationship letdown, you deny the value of the other person. You suddenly see, S-E-E, maybe it's S-E-A, because that story we just read. You suddenly see the other's shadow negative qualities, to the exclusion of their other attributes. This compensates for the previous idealization you held when your ambivalence was repressed, an attitude to which 7s are prone, and allows you to act in a way that cuts off further contact. It often occurs after the souring of a love affair or a masculine friendship, friendship of ideas and working together. Okay. A little hardship going through this transition by yourself. We all are. That's okay. It's okay. She's okay. Let's see what comes next. Oh, I hope the camera didn't just retrograde out. The most effective tool of human oppression is the disparagement of native imagination. If someone is successful in convincing other people that the playful and spontaneous products of their imaginations are worthless, or trivial, or substandard, then those people become slaves, regardless of any accompanying economic and political flourishes. Conversely, if someone fails to persuade others that the spontaneous products of their imaginative life are worthless or substandard, then no matter how much physical, economic, social, or political oppression accompanies that failed effort, those people will never be enslaved. People who are in touch with the spontaneous, archetypal, creative/imaginative impulse are always in state of creative ferment and revolution. Viva la revolution! Whether they are intentionally insubordinate or not. Such people are always behaving spontaneously in new and unexpected ways that the oppressive authorities have not specifically prohibited because they have not thought of them. Okay, so this is digging a little more into a knowing of creative imagination, digging into those ideas of like Bo from Lost Girl would say, there's always a third way. So it's this or that way, but there's always another way. And that way is usually found within yourself. Something that works right for you. And a lot of times that means it'll work right for other people. Support yourself. A lot of times you end up supporting others through that process. Or helping others through that process. Ugh. Okay, so. Whew. man, we have been through it. We done popped the egg of the universe out. We kind of found our way through the dark, and we rejected other people trying to convince us that our ways or what we inherently offer is worthless or substandard. So where does this take us? Where do we find our superpower? Where are we? The flesh is to be purified in the alchemist's fire. Through discipline, the spirit is liberated within the vessel. We require devotional practices to deliver us into that place of communion. As you become the alchemist of your own spiritual destiny, here we go. You might layer different practices in your effort to tune your instrument and prepare your body and mind. Oh yeah, completely. We all have to practice all of our talents and our gifts to better focus them and channel them in ways that really work, that work for us on conscious and subconscious and co-creating levels. There are many ways into the goddess temple. In yoga, this concept is embodied in Kundalini rising. The Kundalini lies sleeping, coiled in the root chakra at the base of your spine. Through posture, yogic breath, and meditation, yoginis, I don't know, is that too yogi? Balances the two essences of the divine masculine Shiva and the divine feminine Shakti, and remove energy blockages in the chakras, so your psychic centers of the subtle body. Thus awakening and allowing the Kundalini to rise up through the chakras, releasing out of the crown in divine unity as the energy cycles from the earth to the heaven and back again in an unending flow, like a little coil. This concept is represented as two serpents twinning around the tree of life, the spine. Okay, so that was kind of it's a big journey, but to find our superpowers, we tend to go through, at least initially, some hardships and struggles. We start in a place of joy a lot, and we can be overcome with joy, and everybody deals with that differently, and that can bring forth the world to some, and to others they can run away. It's a full range, but our journey was really one where we had to stop looking outward and start looking inward. And then it's great because there's this union, this very joyful and playful and erotic union, this creation. And through the journey, we have this great divine, feminine, masculine, Kundalini rising within ourselves. So it's one divine union to another. And, sometimes the journey is initiated by a creation of something new that was unexpected, the loss of something new that was unexpected. But within it, we do find these instincts, these powers, this knowing, this guidance. And a lot of what's going on now, energetically, is shifting. A lot of people are shifting into stages of new guidance. And some of us are very sensitive and aware of it, and trying to embody and respect our energy. And others are getting into it a little slower, or in it, but are maybe less aware, and have no intention of embodying it. So there's a lot of shakeup, astrologically and just universally, energetically wise, and it's just important to think about, our energy as a superpower, our instincts as a superpower. For those of us who know how to check when we're in ego, and know when to have enough emotional, I don't know how to phrase that, for who can identify when we're ego and others, when others are in ego, and can, for lack of a better word, take the high road. Look out for a lot of not just ego stances, but people going into spiritual ego, who are maybe feeling the change and embracing change in a way that is still not all that productive or conducive to their life, in a way that supports them, and their highest, supports their highest good. And then for Samantha, I wanted to, since I've been speaking about astrological shifts and journeys, I wanted to draw 2 cards that from an astrological deck, for my friend Samantha and anyone watching. So thank you, Samantha, and Samantha's higher self for helping. I like astrology because, in a sense, it's very one and connected, because it's the planets, so this is universal. And then also there is this uniqueness, because each of us, our natal chart won't repeat for another 26,000 years. So there's that unique energy and that oneness connected through the planets, because obviously, I don't know how much you think about how we're affected by the planets, but Earth has a big effect on us. Moon, sun, and all the planets do. But the cards that were drawn, Mercury, love it, perfect. As Mercury, again, is in retrograde, and this card is suited as the major arcana, as the magician. So I thought it was really interesting that it mentions youthful Mercury is the magician ready to guide us through the labyrinth path ahead. Mercury is the surrogate of Uranus, initiating the fool into the game of life by endowing him with the skills necessary to outwit his opponents. And I love that it's talking about this initiation, because so much of our, everyone's now or starting to go through this big universal shift, and having this guide. So whether you take that as your instincts, guides outside yourself, or guides within, I love, there's a youthful energy that I think, so that youthfulness, he's initiating the Fool. And the Fool is this beautiful, youthful energy, just this open heart, this, child energy, and endowing him with skills necessary to outwit his opponent. So, endowing the Fool with the skills that are needed. So, entering, taking chances, going left instead of right, really taking opposing views, or doing things in a different way, knowing that with this open heart and mind, you have all the skills necessary to explore and see, even within the things you trust, within your comfort zone, just trying things a little different, taking those, baby steps, right? But youthful, with kind of like youthful exuberance, and trusting that you have guidance to take these steps. And then the other card was Corvus, which I love because there's a crow, and I adore crows, and I know Samantha adores crows. So in Six of Wands in this deck, so associated through their rulership, the three deacons of Leo, the stages of their heroic quest. Sacred to Apollo, the raven was a messenger of the gods and signified prophecy. Corvus heralded news of advancement or recognition as the quest, the creative project or job has reached its conscious goal. So it's mentioning that, again, that heroic, the hero's journey, heroine's journey, the sacred journey, of something prophesied, something that is, just in quest to kind of unearth, not really where you end up or the physical thing you find, but kind of just heralding, just even the entering into the labyrinth, taking those first steps in, going left in the labyrinth instead of right, just the prophecy of this broadening of exploration, this feeling of trust, trusting your guidance, feeling if not safe, then a healthy curiosity within the things that you hold close to you. So I hope that resonates with you, Samantha, and I hope that anyone watching has learned a little more about what their superpower is, or feels like maybe they're getting close to that alchemist fire. So dive right in. And if you, I guess I'm not huge on, giving advice, but if I had any to give, I'd say, dye your hair red. It's awesome, and I'm a huge fan. That's really my diving into fire advice. That's universal. But until next time, take care. Use your superpowers and use your energy kindly and wisely.